We are back, y'all. We are back yet again. Thank you guys for tuning in to all of our reactions to Winning Time as that continues on. We're back here on Wednesday to talk about all things else going on in the sports world. Most importantly, what's going on in the NBA. We're going to talk about award finalists and the playoff predictions as that continues on. I know the series has just started, but still early enough that we can make our predictions and talk about that. So we're going to get to that today and appreciate you guys for tuning in. So let's get this rolling.
Yeah, let's get right.
All right, yep, we are back. It's your boy G along with Alec, another great episode of 1600. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the show on YouTube and across podcasting services. Follow us on IG and TikTok at Section300 and on Twitter at Section300 Sports. Definitely appreciate all the love you guys have been showing us. You guys have been blowing up our latest video, reacting to episode 7 of Winning Time. Definitely appreciate that, and we're going to keep the ball rolling. As we said to start, we're going to talk about all the NBA things going on right now. And we're going to start with the award predictions. They just announced the award finalists a couple of days ago. The top 3 candidates for each award: MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, which they actually announced. We'll get to that in a second as well. Most Improved and Coach of the Year. Definitely going to talk about it all, and excited to see your picks, Alec, and then we'll see what fans have to say about their decisions as well. So let's jump to it.
Definitely.
All right, so here it is. Here's the award finalists for us for this year. As I just said, there's a top 3 candidates for each one. And before we make our actual decisions, just what candidates as a top 3 candidate stands out to you most in each section, or the most of it all? My apologies.
Just like what name of all?
Yeah, what name on there jumps out to you the most right now?
I mean, Ja being an MIP, I feel like he shouldn't even be in there. So that jumps out.
Correct.
Like MVP, Rookie of the Year look perfect. Sixth Man, I don't know that Kevin Love.
That's who I was gonna say. I didn't think Kevin Love. I know he had a very improved season and he bounced back from the injuries and things that he had. But a top 3 guy for Sixth Man of the Year is interesting. I admittedly am also blanking on who else would be there. But just seeing his name caught me by surprise. So he was one that stood out the most to me there. But salute to him for being touted so highly for that award. And also, as you pointed out, Ja, what do you think about guys that are top 2 picks in the draft, who he didn't start off bad? He had a good year last year as well, but clearly made a jump. What do you think about a guy of his status being considered for most improved?
Yeah, I think that is okay on the principle, like if they've made a huge like second year leap, that kind of thing. But Ja, I guess this is year 3 now, right?
Yes, but
he's already been in that like all-star caliber type player. It wasn't like a huge jump. Like he made a jump for sure, but it wasn't like a massive jump, that kind of thing. So
yeah, and he pointed out himself, a guy on his team already, like Desmond Bane, should have been someone more considered for the award than him. Maybe not. I don't think he said than him. I think he still wants the award since he's there. But he said that Desmond should have been involved in that group there.
Yeah, he said instead of him.
Oh, he did say instead of him? Okay, I missed exactly what his tweet was. But I could see Desmond being in there instead, because he is someone that truly came out of nowhere. I mean, he had a decent year last year, but the jump he made this year and to leave on himself as the starter that he is on that squad definitely deserves proper acknowledgement. So that was surprising. But Ja, we see, is in MVP discussions and all of that. So with him reaching that level, I understand why he's there. So definitely a surprise there. But salute to him. But now, as we go on to our actual picks, we'll get the one out of the way already. I guess they already announced it. Defensive Player of the Year is Marcus Smart. I thought they'd wait till at the end of the year. We talked about it off air, that there's the after season award show and all that kind of stuff. I thought that we did. I don't know where the mix up happened in that. But they already announced that Marcus Smart is Defensive Player of the Year. Salute to him. I know he's a Celtic, and I got my Nets shirt on, KD shirt on, and Alec got his Lakers shirt on. But salute to the Celtic, and in that regard, we definitely acknowledge the great season that the Celtics have had. That defense has been stifling one of the better defenses in recent years, truly, as they've improved over this season. He definitely was at the lead of that and deserves acknowledgement. So all praise to him.
I was I guess maybe a little bit surprised that it went to Marcus Smart. I think just because that defense as a whole is like really good, so I didn't know that they would want to give a fair nod to just him as that one guy.
Sure.
But I mean, he's been one of the better defenders perimeter defenders in the league for a couple of years now. That's like one of the main things like that he brings to that Celtics team. So,
and he's the first guard to win it since when? It's been like
since
a while, right? Right.
Yeah, since Gary Payton.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been a long time coming for a guard to get it. It's been mainly dominated by centers and then a couple forwards here and there.
And if any guy was to get it, it would be Marcus. So yeah, you got that.
Yeah, but I thought the finalists were pretty much correct between Mikal Bridges and Rudy Gobert as well. Jaren Jackson maybe could have been in the conversation. I don't know that he's quite as elite as like Rudy is as like a rim protector, that kind of thing.
Correct.
But Bridges pretty much takes on the best player on every other team for the most part. So I think they got the finalists right in this category. Yeah.
Do you think that if Draymond played more, he would have won this award?
He definitely would have been probably in the conversation.
Okay.
Like maybe knocking Bridges out.
Yeah.
Of it, but yeah, I think so. I mean, Draymond was that part of the reason why they got off to such a hot start was because of Draymond, and now we see how they're clicking again in the playoffs.
We'll get to that later on for sure.
So, yeah, he would have been.
Definitely. So yeah, salute to Marcus. Also, in a way, glad it's not Rudy. Rudy has added up a whole lot of stats already, and enough's enough. People are done with the jig. The jig is up with Rudy there. So yeah, glad the award went to somebody else.
History might be kind to Rudy just with all the awards he's gotten.
Right, exactly. He's already had enough. It's time.
Five defensive player of the years.
Right, exactly. So it's time to share that wealth with somebody else. And yeah, again, just glad Marcus got that. So that's Defensive Player of the Year. But now we go back to the big awards. Actually, I'll let you pick. You want to go straight to MVP, or you want to
just start at the top? Yeah,
let's go back to the top. So MVP there. Giannis, Joel, Jokic as the top three. People have been debating all year. People also throwing in Devin Booker in the mix, who just missed the cut for the top three there. But yeah, definitely a fun race from day one. Truly, have enjoyed all their games throughout the whole season. So, who do you have as your pick for MVP?
Yeah, I think it's got to be Jokic. All things considered, between him playing damn near every game this season, being the only star on his, like, there's no other all-star that he's playing with.
Correct.
Like the next best players pretty much been like Aaron Gordon or Will Barton or sometimes Monte Morris.
We see how that can go at times.
And what is that?
I said we see how that can go, having Aaron Gordon as your second best player.
We
be a little shaky at times.
Bear down for sure. We support Aaron Gordon on this podcast, but it's rough some nights for sure. But it hasn't been rough on any night really for Jokic. He's pretty much game in, game out, giving you damn near triple-double numbers. And his defense is what a lot of people have pointed to in the past, and his defense has improved, at least statistically. Watching the games, it doesn't quite look like the defensive impact is there for him.
Right.
But by the metrics, like, his defense has improved too. I think the only knock, I guess, was that they were they fell to was it 6 seed?
I believe so. You can pull it if you want.
But I believe that I'm gonna pull up the standings right here just so I can refer back to it. But I think that's really like the main knock on Jokic. But he's definitely done the most with the least, I would say, of the three. Giannis and Embiid both have cases for sure. Embiid led the league in scoring, points per game, and 40 in 10 games. And, was dominant, especially before they got Harden. And then Giannis just continues to get better every single year. Yeah. And it's his league. He's the best player in the league to me.
That's where I was torn, to be honest, because as much as I agree that Jokic is an MVP, and I will pick him as the guy to get it and let him be the repeat guy, it just still feels like it's Giannis' league. So
it is.
I guess it's kind of like when in the past it was LeBron's league, but somebody else would still win it because of what they did for that 1 year, whatever the case. But I still see how great Giannis is and is growing and becoming still as well. So that's definitely deserving of being at least top three for sure. So salute to all of them. Embiid, I definitely acknowledge that, as you said, with all the stuff that he did and overcame. But I still, as you said, I think Jokic did just as much with less help around him as well. So gotta give the nod to him.
So we're in agreement there, Jokic.
I believe so. And it seems like that's the media's reaction to it as well. there's at least a majority of folks. I saw an athletic article, I think an ESPN one as well, where just about every analyst picked Jokic. I think maybe one or two put Embiid in there. Do you think there's going to be a lot of backlash or reaction to Embiid not getting the award? Or do you think there's going to be a agreement that Jokic is the guy this year?
I feel like you can't. I mean, Embiid, it's fair for him to be upset if he doesn't get the award, but I feel like you can't really argue that Jokic and Giannis have a claim to it as well. Like if any of these three won it, I don't think we'd have like a huge argument or uproar. I think just like we said, Jokic has done the most with less. I think if Giannis didn't have Middleton and Drew there, or Embiid didn't have Harden at any point,
right?
Then we'd probably give the nod to them, especially them having a little bit higher seeds than Jokic. But no, I feel like if Jokic gets it, like you kind of just tip your cap because all three are deserving with their play.
I just asked that too because I remember last year he won the award and people automatically came out with articles saying like, or not articles, I think it was more so tweets. I think that the actual analysts had respect, but tweets were like, he's the worst MVP in the last 40 years or some stuff like that. And people
said that.
What Jokic was doing. And while it was one person that said that, obviously there were a lot of folks that echoed similar sentiments just about how Jokic wasn't actually the guy that should have got that award. So just curious if you had similar thoughts about that.
No, that's some elite hating on Jokic saying that he's the worst MVP. Like
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. No. So that's MVP award. Definitely a fun one. Love to see who you guys pick. If you guys aren't with Jokic, definitely let us know why and who you guys picked instead. If there's any of the Devin Booker truthers and all those out there that are still riding for him, let us know. We'll definitely chat about that in the comments and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's our MVP pick there. Now let's go continue to move on. Rookie of the Year is a great list there. Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Evan Mobley are up there. All great picks. I was rooting hard for Jalen Green throughout the year, hoping he would have a good turnaround. While he's not in the top three, he started off the year kind of struggling, but did have a nice ending to the season. So salute to him for that. But now with this top three, in the same kind of way as I mentioned, Jalen Green just now starting kind of slow and then picking up. Cade started kind of shaky, but once he picked up to the nth degree and looked like he was truly special and deserving of that first pick that he got. So Cade definitely is there. Scotty kind of surprised some folks. There are people that I forgot who they said should have went ahead of him in the draft. I think it was Jalen Suggs. Went ahead of him in the draft, but thank God for the Raptors that they went with Scotty instead, because Scotty has been a blessing for them and a great piece to that team. And definitely has been deserving to be at least in this discussion. And Evan Mobley, my SC guy, salute to him, has looked great as well. And people say he might have even deserved to be on a all defensive team, possibly, with how good he's been already this season, with his out showing all year long. So all three of these rookies have been very special, and all could be deserving of the award. But which way are you leaning for this one, Alec?
Yeah, I've just pulled up all three of their stats, and they're pretty comparable. No one has like a significant gap on the other. All averaging between like 15 and 17 points, and 5, 6 assists, that kind of thing. So I think honestly, more so because of the consistency, like he was consistently good and like integral to the team's winning and success. I do think Scotty Barnes probably does get the nod for me. Like I probably would have them in this order. I probably would have them Scotty, Cade, Mobley. I think Mobley was like really great to start the season too. He got injured, and I think that hurt him a little bit because he missed some time and had a little bit of a not like he pitter-pattered out, but it wasn't like as hot as he started. Cade, like you said, really caught fire towards the end of the season and closed it out, and looks like a potential all-star in this league too.
Correct.
I just think Scotty from day one like was a surprise to us initially, but then like has continued to be very important to this Toronto team being in the playoffs and playing winning basketball. And I think the statistics are like right there, like neck and neck with each other. So I'd probably give Scotty the nod. He's also played the most of the three. But I wouldn't be mad at any of these three winning it either. too. So
I wouldn't either. So I'm not mad at your pick. I do like Scotty, and definitely acknowledge all that he did. But taking the USC part out of it, and my bias in that regard, I still do think Evan is that guy. And it's the same kind of way that you said Scotty was there start to finish. Evan showed like he was there start to finish, I believe, as well. And it was very impressive. And we saw how great that Cavaliers team was when everybody was healthy, and the high hopes that people put onto them because of the showing that they did. And as we also alluded to, people even saying that Evan Mobley could be a guy that could be deserving of already an all-defensive team with the presence that he had on that side of the ball. So on how impactful he was all the way through, and the numbers being somewhat comparable, as you already pointed out, I definitely think Evan is that guy. And actually, Cade was – I wanted to put Cade second, but as I also peek at the stats as well, I do think Scotty would be second in that race. Mm-hmm. So I would just shift, and Scotty is your first. I put Evan as 1, Scotty as 2, and Cade at 3. But however you want to slice it, they're all very deserving of the award. Definitely very, very impressive seasons. And I'm interested to see who the actual decision makers choose for the award there. So definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Going on and down the list, we mentioned Kevin Love being surprisingly beyond that list for Sixth Man of the Year. You see him winning the award, or you think one of the other two gets it?
No, and like you, I don't really have a whole lot of other candidates that come to my mind. I feel like the 6-man role isn't really like a defined role for a lot of teams. Like a lot of teams kind of shuffle their rotations and stuff.
Correct.
Cam Johnson was good for the Suns and stepped up when Chris Paul went out. I think it's clearly Tyler Hero to me. I think. He could probably start on most teams, and
he would be starting if the Heat's lineup wasn't as kind of stacked as it is.
Yeah, and I just think they like his scoring punch off the bench. But
exactly.
Averaging 25 and 4, I didn't realize it was that good. I knew he was averaging around 20, but 5 and 4 as well too. So I think it's pretty clearly that he's 6th man of the year.
Yeah, I agree. He was one of those guys that got a lot of fame because of that run that the Heat went on 2 years ago. Had a difficult season, I believe, right after that, but has bounced back very nicely and shown that he's still deserving of being in discussion with the upper echelon of the young guys in the league. And definitely showed his worth this year for that Heat squad. So I definitely tip my hat to him. Salute to him for that season. Definitely believe he gets the award there, and salute to the others there that are in contention. And again, major salute to Kevin Love for even being in consideration for it. Again, just with all that he went through just to get back in shape. I remember we were mad about him being on the USA team because he was out of the game and out of shape and whatever.
He did not even
to see how he went from that to being a guy considered for any of these awards, definitely deserves acknowledgement. So salute to him for his turnaround there. So 6th man of the year there. We discussed the Defensive Player of the Year. Going on now, the most improved player. Does it have to be Ja?
No, it does not.
It doesn't have to be Ja. So who do you think gets it? We also have Darius Garland there for the Cavaliers, who I pointed out, and Dejounte Murray for the Spurs, who had an all-star year himself.
Yeah. Well, first I was going to say what I said in our group too. I feel like the MIP should be on this list should also be Desmond Bane, like we talked about. Ja said himself.
Correct.
And then Jordan Poole. I feel like Jordan Poole should be the winner of this award, to be honest. People have said that he had a decent season last year, so this isn't new, but I think he's the reason why they're a contender again.
That's a very powerful statement. I can't go that far. I do acknowledge what Jordan has done and see the rise he continues to be on, especially in recent games in the playoffs and stuff. Definitely, he's a very impactful person who they're now adding him into the mix of their lineup and trying to figure out new nicknames for him to be included in the Splash Brothers and whatever. So I definitely understand his impact. I just also believe that Darius Garland and him being the actual leader of that Cleveland squad and carrying them to the heights that they did before injuries and things kind of derailed things, I think deserves more attention. And he actually is the guy that I'm going with. It's hard for me to pick Ja because Ja is a guy that I already viewed as a very highly talented guy. But he might get it because he's someone that, because of all how talented he is, deserves to start racking up accolades. But if I had to pick, I'm going with Darius, and maybe I put Jordan in instead of Ja, because I don't think Ja should be here to begin with. But I think even with Jordan in the mix, Darius is number one there, and you put Jordan at 2, and then DeJounte at 3, or however you want to slice it after that.
Yeah,
I think Darius is the one that deserves that award there this year.
I would say Ja and DeJounte Murray, like, were doing this last year too. I think they just both got the All-Star nods this year.
The acknowledgement finally showed up this year. Agreed.
But they were doing this exact same kind of stuff last year. Ja, I think, was like the best paint finisher of anyone, like including bigs too. So that's a pretty big accomplishment as well. But it just doesn't feel like either Ja or DeJounte Murray really should be on this list. I think they've both been like all-star caliber players in the previous season.
Media's finally just waking up, so that's why you got to put him in somewhere.
So yeah, of these three, Garland for sure would be my pick, but I think Bane and Poole should have gotten it over him.
Okay, yeah, I hear you in that. Definitely deserves some kind of acknowledgement. He definitely will be in the mix next year and going forward. He clearly has a whole bunch of support now. So they'll be in the mix. And Desmond Bane, I believe, continue to improve his play as well. So yeah, both those guys are very impressive, and hopefully they get some acknowledgement going forward. But for now, these are who we got, and we'll see what decision they make in that. So yeah, most improved is going to be another fun race there to see how they decide on it. And then finally, we have Coach of the Year. Taylor Jenkins of the Grizzlies, Alec Foster of the Heat, and Monty Williams of the Suns as the finalists for that award. Which way you leaning with that one?
Yeah, I mean, I know, like, we all probably want to give it to Monty Williams. I think I'm in agreement there.
Okay, scared me for a second.
My thing too, though, is I think like Taylor Jenkins is right there. Like I think Monty gets it for sure, just because he didn't get it last year too. But they're also 8 games up on like the second best team in the league, so like they've been dominant throughout the season.
Exactly.
So I think you have to give Monty the nod here, but like if the Suns weren't as great as they were, I think Taylor Jenkins deserves a lot of credit, because this isn't a Grizzlies team any of us expected to be the number 2 seed in the West.
Correct.
And how they've been like 20-3 without Ja. Like, it's not just their star player picking up the slack kind of thing. Like, it's a team effort, and it's coaching as well. So I think he deserves a lot of credit. And then Spoelstra getting the 1 seed in Miami, like the quiet 1 seed that we don't talk about all the time. But
I hate
all deserving, but Monty should get the nod.
I hate to do this, but haven't they done a coach of the year before?
Maybe.
I thought they did. And if there's any other year to do it, I think this may be the year. Though I want Monty to have his moment because he deserves it. I think Taylor Jenkins also has put up a very impressive performance this year with that squad, with and without Ja, as you just pointed out. So if there were every year to split the award in 2 and give it to 2 guys, I think Monty and Taylor deserve that. But just to pick one, I do agree to that. Monty, how dominant the Suns have been all year long, would be the one if I had to pick just one individually. So we'll see how they do that. But yeah, all 3 have been impressive this year, and salute to them. You mentioned Desmond Bane and Jordan Poole not being in the most improved player. Any other coaches that should have been in the mix for Coach of the Year? You can think of off the top of the head real quick?
I would have said Bickerstaff, but they kind of fell off. And that was partially due to injury, not necessarily his fault.
No Frank Vogel love? Not even going to acknowledge it. Okay, all right.
No one else really, because I wouldn't put Budenholzer in there.
You wouldn't put wow, I'm blanking on his name. Celtics coach.
Ime,
Ime, yes. You want to put him in there?
Ime, Ime would probably be 4 on this list.
Got it.
But other than that, no, I think these are the 3, and I don't think anyone else really deserves that nod. Jason Kidd maybe like on the outside looking in with how the Mavs kind of turn things around. I've been looking. But yeah, these 3 and Ime right on there.
Okay, I agree with you there. He should be he'd be the 4th guy as well for me. So
yeah,
definitely a good thing there. And that's it for us. That's our NBA award picks there for you. Let us know what you guys think for your picks as well. Let us know what guys should be in the mix that aren't on this list here and all of that. Definitely looking forward to talking to you guys about all these things going forward and all that's to come with the NBA. Definitely a fun time for the league. So that's it for right now. we'll be back shortly to talk about NBA playoff predictions and all of that as that continues to go on. But for now, this is it. We'll go to double view real quick. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. For all the support you guys have been showing us. Again, follow us on IG and TikTok at section.300. Follow us on Twitter at section of the sports. Talk to us on there. Definitely would love to chat with you about all the awards decisions we just made. Subscribe to the show for all you guys watching on YouTube, and subscribe to us on all of our podcast services as well. So that's that. We'll see you guys again very shortly. But for now, that's our award picks, and appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Peace.
Deuces.